this is where I started. I took a course at the University of Hertfordshire, and I didn't really study graphic design or branding as such, but I did do this wonderfully fun animation as my final year course. Had a great deal of fun doing this. This is called The Adventures of Mr. Slap, as it was called at the time. And I basically focused on just doing creative stuff through animation. But obviously, doing that, completing that course, I'm living in the New Forest. Now, I'm going back home, living in the New Forest, and now it's like time to get a job. And I'm thinking, well, there's not many jobs in animation in the New Forest. I mean, I could ask this horse here, has he got a job? No. Nay. Have you got a job for me? Nay. Try graphic design. That's a good idea, because I've got some skills now. I learned these skills, these very important skills in Photoshop and Illustrator, which I did my animation in. And I thought there is actually a lot of business in graphic design rather than animation, because every single business needs it. So after a very long time of looking for work, I eventually got a job in sports nutrition. And in 2004, I had my very first published graphic design in the magazine of Flex, which is obviously a beautiful example of publishing. But at the time, it was like I was famous. I was published, I was in the magazine, and that was sort of me away on my career, really. Another thing I worked on was Dr. Gillian McKeith. This was sort of sports nutrition and health foods. I don't know if you remember her from Channel 4, but again, it was like, I was working for someone that was actually on TV, and we did her official website. And then after doing that for a little bit of time, I then worked in this company, which is the team building company. This is my sort of first senior design role, where I learned about branding and SEO, search engine optimization. And the one thing that I really admired about this company was the URL. It was a very sort of simple, clean message. They had this amazing URL, teambuilding.co.uk, and they were the team building company. So that sort of registered in my mind. And after a time, I thought, maybe I can actually do this myself. So the first thing I thought was that I need my own brand. I need a URL that's important to me. So this was my first big investment. I managed to get hold of this domain name, freelancegraphicdesigner.co.uk. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So the thing with this website is it actually wasn't available when I was searching for it. It was actually another company that had it, and he was saying on his website, I'm only setting this up for an SEO experiment. So I thought that maybe they won't renew it. Maybe it'll sort of drop, as it's known. And sure enough, after there's a period of 90 days, it basically became available to the whole public. And I was there, and I knew the exact day where it was going to drop. And I went in and I bought it for £5, and that was my first business investment. And since then, I've probably done about, over £300,000 worth of business has come just through that domain name itself. This is one of the things I liken to the Ronseal, which is obviously quoted a lot as a brand, does exactly what it says on the tin. Here's another one, webuyanycar.com. Don't be afraid to spell it out when you're doing branding. Clear signals in a noisy world. That's what I'm sort of looking to achieve, and that's what I sort of preach to lots of businesses. If you can get a brand that's very, very clear and obvious, especially in a domain name, you'll do very well. So after a while of working down south in New Forest, it was time to pack my bags, go to London. I quickly ran out of money like that, and I quickly realized how far I needed to come in my design career and how much better I needed to be. And then this happened. So not only I ran out of money, but the whole world ran out of money, all at the same time. Oh no, I'm going to London, I'm trying to start my own business, and you get the financial crash. Now, no one's got any money. So that must be really, really bad. Well, not for me, because as I got this brilliant domain name, at that time, lots of these companies were looking to save money. They were looking to think, well, we can't really afford these expensive design agencies anymore. We need to get freelancers involved. So because of the work that was done by the previous guy on freelancegraphicdesign.co.uk, because I bought that and sort of acquired some of that SEO work, I managed to get some very good positioning in Google, and then I was getting these big brands would suddenly come knocking at my door. So over the course of, for the last sort of 10 years that I've been working on this in London, I've worked with all of these amazing brands, and this is, I'll just sort of show you a few pieces that I've done. This is an advertisement for Jim Beam. This is Alan Partridge. That might not mean much to, but anyone there's a fan of Alan Partridge will know that phrase. Anyone else is just like a funny T-shirt. BBC Earth, BBC Worldwide. This is Dancing with the Stars. This is Strictly Come Dancing's global brand that BBC Worldwide. BBC Worldwide make a lot more money from selling programs abroad than they do from the taxpayer, from the license payer. So that was a big area. This Waldorf Hilton was a digital advent calendar. So you sort of clicked on the numbers and it would zoom in. So it sort of got a bit back to my animation roots. This is the Top Gear Live site when they still had James May and Richard Hammond there. And this is the Top Gear USA montage that I've got on my website. So this is like lots of different photos all montaged together, and the presenters for the USA version of Top Gear. Tesco Pet Club here. And Mercedes, a brochure design. Student of the Year MTVs. This is a sub-brand that I did develop for MTV for a program that they were developing. And Estrella. Now, working with these bigger brands, this is probably the most sort of impressive work in my portfolio. But actually, it's actually incredibly easy to work with these brands because you get given so much. You get given this beautiful photo. You get given the exact font to use, and it's just more of a question of assembling stuff than it is sort of design work. So this sort of work, it might look very impressive, but it's actually quite easy because when a brand works with you, they give you all the tools that you need. They give you the language. They give you basically a toolkit. And this is what I help now new businesses to get that toolkit, that visual toolkit. So it wasn't just these big brands that were finding me, but also the financial crisis of 2008 meant that a lot of people were starting their own businesses. And to date, I've helped to create the brands of over 119 new companies and startups. And here's some of them. This is a restaurant. This is a Perspex furniture maker of high-end luxury Perspex furniture. Boxing coach. This is a technology company. This is a company where it was an idea for a cosmetics product and they needed a brand. I actually helped to find the name for this company as well, which I'll go into a little bit later, how you find creative ways of getting good names. And this is a international fashion brand.